Welcome, mindful performers. Today's topic is how to help those that don't seem to want help, or perhaps they're just not ready for help. And I'll tell you that the original title to this topic was I Don't Care Why You Can't Meditate. And as I talk through that with some of my peers and my wife, I realized that obviously that topic has to have a positive ending, or else it's not a very good topic for mindful performance. So I thought through, well, why do I get frustrated when someone comes up and will tell me, I just can't meditate because of this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason, or I do this instead. And I'm thinking, well, that's probably relaxing, or maybe it's, fun, but it's not actually giving you the benefits of actually sitting down and taking the time to meditate. And it became clear that the reason I become frustrated is because this person is so close to making a change or making the decision to change something in their life. And it could be meditation, but it happens all the time. It happens with our children, it happens with our friends, it happens with our parents, where someone comes to us and says, I can't do this, or I don't want to do this, or I'm struggling with this. And we want to give them all this information and tell them, oh, by the way, I actually can help you with that. I teach meditation. In fact, I have classes every week, or I have online courses. And you may feel the same frustration level when a loved one or a friend or anyone comes to you and expresses the need for help. Because what do we want to do? We want to reach them. We want to say something that will push them in that direction, push them just a little bit so that they will take the action or make the decision that can help improve their health. It can help improve their living situation, their relationship. I mean, the list goes on. And I know that anyone watching this has been in similar situations where, our instinct is to grab the person and be like, oh, by the way, well, here's how I'll just use my example. Well, here's how you do the breathing. And here's how you do this. And here's when you do it. And guess what? They didn't ask me for any of that information. All they did was come up and say, I just can't meditate. And so I've been guilty of this. I'll start giving them all this information and trying to help them. And the fact of the matter is they didn't actually ask me for help. They're this close to making a change or making that shift and taking the time for themselves to realize the benefits of meditation and mindfulness. So I thought through, well, what is the best way? How can we help those that we see are in that pattern or in a pattern where they're starting to see it. They're starting to see like, man, I really need to make a change. And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be meditation. So what do? And I thought through it and I thought, the best thing to do is not overwhelm them with all kinds of links and websites and things like that they haven't asked for. We need to be present and listen. The reason they're even mentioning it to you, whatever it is that they're struggling with, is because they consciously or unconsciously see you as a source that can assist them, that can truly help them. But if they're not ready to hear you, you could say the most sage advice that has ever come out of your mouth, and they're still not going to hear it. They're not going to understand it. They're not going to take action on it. So the first thing we can do is be present and listen. Now, when we do that, a lot of times people will start going down the path of why they can't do it, why they shouldn't do it, whatever the excuses are. And a lot of times they'll start complaining about this person or that situation that keeps them from doing what they know that they should do. So we want to gently, the second thing we want to do is gently steer the conversation, not by giving advice, but by asking questions for them. What would it look like if you were able to add that into your life? What would it look like if you could make that change? Just to get them imagining the possibility and what their day, their life, whatever it might be, would actually look like if they were to find a way to make that decision or make that change in their life. So that's the second thing that we can do. The third thing is that we can answer the questions that they ask, but, and this is where I go wrong many, many times, instead of giving them 8 links and a book that happens to be in my backpack about meditation or mindfulness or whatever the case may be that they did not ask for, is to instead answer the questions as succinctly as possible. And if something comes up in that answer that could be helpful, what I do now is, instead of just sending them a link, I'll say, you know what, if you would like that link or like that book or like that, whatever it is, please send me an email or send me a text or contact me, because then I know that they're going through the mental process of actually deciding that they want to look at what I've mentioned. They already know it's going to be helpful. I've just told them that. And that way, there's a little bit more buy-in if they're able to take that step. Now, it also saves you time, because many times it's just in passing, they're not ready to make a decision or make a change, and so you really don't need to send them anything or do anything, take any steps. So that is the third thing. And I will emphasize again, when you're answering the questions, be succinct. Don't go overboard with the help. Just get it back to listening and being present. And eventually, someday, hopefully, that person will either heed that advice or reach out and say, you know what, I really need to do this. I really need to make this change. And as much as we'd like it to be soon and now, and we'd be able to force the situation or push gently, maybe not force, but maybe push gently, the fact is, they need to be ready, and we need to have patience, and we can be the example for them, or at the very least, be a person that they can truly sit down with, and they know that they can listen, they can talk, we will listen, we will be present. We're not going to sit there and listen to the same story, the same complaining. We're going to ask them questions on, what does the future look like? What does that change look like? And when they're comfortable with that, they get closer and closer to actually making a change in their life. That was today's topic. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions or comments about the topic, feel free to put them in the chat. If this was helpful, please share the video on your favorite social media. As you know, I post it to many different options: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. If you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you'll be notified of future videos. And I look forward to talking to you next Saturday.